Welcome, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. I'm really glad you could join me today. I have here in front of me a 30-gallon barrel, and I wanted to show you how you could build an indestructible raised garden bed out of it. So thank you for joining me today. So what I have here in front of me, like I said earlier, is a 30-gallon barrel. Now earlier I did a video on how you could make indestructible raised beds out of a 55-gallon barrel. But these barrels are a little smaller. You know, if you measure them, they're 30 inches high, and the diameter of these are about 20 inches. And so, you know, these would be helpful for or useful for, plants that aren't as large, although you could certainly plant tomatoes in these and peppers and any type of greens, or you could even plant flowers in these, and so what I did is I laid out a line around the perimeter of these barrels. And so the best way to lay out these lines is, you put them on a table or something. I have it up on my table saw, and I just put a screwdriver under to keep it from rolling. And so these barrels, they ended up, if you come in 9 3/4 from the bottom and about 9 3/4 from the top, it does leave you with another 9 3/4 inch circle or ring. And so what I do then is I just lay these out with my tape. You stretch it out to your mark and then just continue right around the perimeter with your Sharpie. I use a Sharpie and then my measuring tape. It takes a little practice, but this is a technique I would use in the construction field, when to lay out plywood or when you want to put a parallel line. And so, basically you're just working your way around the barrel. And then what I'm going to do next is get my saw, and we're going to start cutting these barrel rings out. So anyhow, I'm all ready to cut the barrel out. And before you use any type of power saw or power equipment, you want to make sure you read and follow all the safety directions that come with your piece of equipment. And especially, you want to use safety glasses, or I have this face shield that I'm going to be using. I also use this on my weed whacker, or anytime you really want full eye protection. And then I'm going to be using my circular saw. I have the blade set for about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to make a couple cuts right around here, following that line. Then you pull the guard back a little bit and then let it drop down when you go to start. So then what you want to do is just spin it around. Now maybe you're more comfortable, you could cut this on the floor, if you're more comfortable doing it that way. But here it's a nice working height. And so I'm going to make one more cut, and then on each here, and then let's see what happens. So anyhow, when you go to finish your cut, you just want to be careful on those last final inches. You might even want to, you could even duct tape these pieces that are already cut just to hold the whole barrel together. And so I'm going to finish these, this cut here, and then start to sand some of the edges on the barrel. So after cutting the barrel rings, you can see that there's definitely some burrs along the edge. So you just want to take some sandpaper, some rough grade. This is a probably an 80 grit. This is an 80 grit. And then just sand around the edges nicely. And I get these barrels from an Ace Hardware near me here in Harleysville, and I pay $5 for them. To me, that's a really good deal. Now you might be able to find them also on Craigslist. You may pay up to $20 for one, but remember this, these are going to last a lifetime. These will be around a lot longer than we will be. And so, these again, they can make nice planters, or, the ones that don't have a bottom in them, these are almost like a raised bed. You could put these over your soil and then also loosen the soil below it to extend your soil depth if you want to. But, these are going to be really handy to use in the garden. And so, let's just finish sanding around this edge here. And so what I'm going to do is finish sanding this barrel here, and then I'm going to set them on the floor. So anyhow, the top of this barrel has a nice lip along the bottom, and so it would make a nice decorative flower container, or one to use for plants on its own. Or you could put three together like this, or just put them all in a row. And so there's different configurations you can put them in depending on the size of your yard and the layout of your garden. So what I did on some of my other barrels, I did end up spraying them brown, and I have here a Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover Paint Plus Primer, and this is specially designed it says it bonds to plastic, and so this color here is a Kona brown, and so that's what I used on some of my other barrels. I did some of the outside, and just on the inside I came down a couple inches. You might just like the barrels the color they are. That's all personal preference, but anyhow, they're going to be indestructible outside. They're not going to rust, they're not going to corrode, they're not going to rot. Like I said, they'll last a long time. And so I'm really looking forward to using these, a nice, inexpensive way to have yourself a garden container, or even again using these for raised beds. And so I may end up doing a video in the future showing different uses for these as I use them out in my gardens. I may end up doing a video just to give you some ideas on how to use them. And so anyhow, I hope this video has been helpful and maybe gave you some ideas. And so I just hope you have a wonderful day. And also, if you have any questions or comments, or you can leave them in the section below, or if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so you can receive future videos. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.